Candyman, 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 Candyman. What? What? No! Hello. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today it's time to review Candyman 3, Day of the Dead. This is the third movie in the Candyman franchise, and it'll be the last until the brand new one, which drops tonight in theaters, Candyman 2021, I'm calling it, because I think it's just called Candyman, which is weird because it's a direct sequel to the original, ignoring the second and third films. But I'm not going to ignore the second and third films. We're going to talk about part 3. If you saw my review on part 2, you know that I thought it was a big drop from the original, but it still had some entertainment value. There's actually some unintentional comedy and some pretty cool scenes, and I thought worth checking out. Do I feel the same about part 3? Honestly, this film is hated. Most people say it's absolute trash, complete garbage, not worth anybody's time. I checked it out, and I didn't find it quite that bad. But it's not a good movie, definitely. It was a money grab. It was a very cheap kind of directed video or direct to HBO or something like that type movie. Relatively low budget, about $3 million budget. Not too big for a movie that's following up Candyman. He doesn't come across as the quality that we want in a Candyman movie. But there's a couple positives. Number one, Tony Todd is back, and once again, the booming voice. He's intimidating. He's awesome. There's some cool kills. If you love that gore, you're going to get some in this movie, no doubt about that. But overall, he doesn't have a lot new to bring to the table. It's not his fault. It's just the script. He says some of the same old things, does some of the same old things, and sometimes even it's a little weaker than he should be than what we're used to. So I would say I don't see any reason to check out Candyman 3 just for that, because it's just kind of retreading. But if you're an absolute fanatic, you need you some more Tony Todd, you're not going to get enough of Candyman just in 3 movies, well, hey, you're going to get some more Tony Todd. Other than that, we have a new setting. This time it takes place in LA, Day of the Dead, so another holiday like part 2 took place in New Orleans, and it was Mardi Gras. And some of the scenery is pretty cool. There's some graffiti, there's some just settings and scenery that look very Candyman-ish. It fits nicely into the Candyman universe, just looking around at the scenery and things like that. So that's pretty cool. There are some moments here where they start to explore something that looks interesting, but they really never go for it. And that's the problem with that. So you have some good ideas, but they avoid it just to stick to the, I guess, tried and true formula. It's not too tried and true. It was tried and true in part 1. They kind of repeated it all in part 2. And now we're repeating it all in part 3. So this time you have the daughter of the girl from part 2, but she's all grown up. How does that work? Because it's in the future. Does it look like it's in the future? Hell no. This movie supposedly takes place in 2020. Pretty much now. They made less than 0 effort to make it look like the future. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't expect them to have flying cars and everything and make it look like a Back to the Future movie. I get they don't want to do that. They want it to be a Candyman horror film, so they want to keep it grounded and everything. But they made no effort. And when I say no effort, I mean no effort. There was a calendar on the wall at some point in the movie, and you look at the year on it, I thought for sure it's going to say 2020 or 2019. We can check it out, see what year this takes place in. Oh, cool. Pause. Where? Let me see. 1990 something. They didn't even update the calendar. Who was doing the set design here? They didn't even care or know what year this was supposed to be taking place. You got one girl at one point, it's like, hey, page me if you need me. Page me? You couldn't guess that pagers weren't going to be around in 20 years? You couldn't have her say, hey, call me on my cell? So you have Caroline now, who is played by, and all due respect to the actress who played her, because she did fine. She's not a terrible actress, but she looks and acts kind of like a girl from, Baywatch, which she is a girl from Baywatch, so that makes sense. And she's just kind of sexually provocative, the way she dresses, the way she acts, and it's just not working. Candyman usually has a woman who's yes, attractive, but also very smart, someone we can get behind, doing research, someone who we care about, and not just some kind of sex object like they make this girl out to be. She doesn't really do much or seem that intelligent. She doesn't even know what Day of the Dead is, and she lives in LA. But the actress, I guess, was fine. Though the entire cast was fine. I didn't see any acting that I thought was just, oh God, that's terrible. What kind of I did see in part 2. So I'll give it that. There's her friend who actually, he's pretty good. I think his name's Miguel in the movie. That actor does fine. But other than some cool scenery, Day of the Dead, Los Angeles, Tony Todd back, and some decent acting, that's about it. I mean, you're going to get another Candyman movie that's, considering it's low budget, straight to DVD, pretty much what you'd expect. Doesn't exceed any expectations. So into some more negatives. I already talked about how they made no effort to make the film look like the future, which is lame. And the jump scares are back. I don't think there's as many as in part 2, but there is a fake out. It's not really a jump scare, but it is a fake out that is absolutely insulting, and I knew it was fake. That's what pisses me off. I know these are fake. I can just tell. I've seen enough horror movies that they very rarely surprise me.
Oh my God! No! Don't kill me! Oh my God! Please don't kill me! No! Oh, please don't kill me! Don't kill me! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! No! I can't abort!
So the girl is screaming at the top of her lungs, oh my God, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. Help me, help me, help me, help me. Oh my God, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. And she's, the other girl, her friend's rushing to get the keys and go help her. She opens the door. And I thought, okay, one of two things are about to happen. Okay, either she's reading a script and practicing for a role for a movie or something, or she sees like a spider or a bug and she's freaked out and screaming over that, which would have made a tiny bit more sense because at least, she was screaming at some real threat. Reading a script and screaming like that makes no sense. The entire apartment building would be calling the cops. Like, some lady's getting killed here. She's screaming for help. You don't scream like that in an apartment building. It makes no sense. And she was, top of her lungs, and it was all to fake out the audience. And you didn't fake me out for a second. If it was real, you would have shown Candyman. You would have shown, she wouldn't have been screaming for as long as she was. And it just came across like this is a fake out. And there were a lot of fake outs. That's just one example. Lots of fake outs, bull crap, jump scares, horrible. But anyway, like I did mention, they had some good ideas. So you have this main girl, and she's actually trying to change the reputation of Daniel, who is the Candyman, but when he was alive and an actual man, he was named Daniel, and she's actually related to him. So she wants to kind of show that he was an artist. He painted, beautiful paintings, and he actually was a good man. She wants to get rid of this whole Candyman reputation thing, which she says, it's completely fake. But her friend, Miguel, who I mentioned, runs like an art gallery, and he's going to show all these paintings, but he wants to really market it as Candyman. This is the Candyman's painting. She doesn't want him to market it as Candyman because, she's saying, hey, dude, I want to show what this guy, how he really was. He was not some killer. He's not a bad person. So they have a little argument, and, he's saying, hey, it's best of both worlds here. I get to market my gallery, people are going to show up, and also you get to tell your story. So it's perfect. As it turns out, that was not a setup to really explore any deeper. That was just an excuse to get her to say Candyman 5 times in a mirror, and when she does, it's another fake out with a guy with a hook, a prop. The exact same thing happened in part 2. I talked about exact same thing. The first time Candyman is said 5 times in a mirror in part 2 and part 3, there's an immediate fake out. And I said it. Here comes the fake out. There's the fake out. Like, be smarter when you write these scripts. Come on, give your audience a little bit of credit. So that's one idea that didn't go anywhere. You had another scene where she meets up with her friend's grandmother, his abuelita, and she is actually an expert on, spirits and ghosts, and she's trying to help her, and she kind of examines her, and she somehow takes an egg around her, and she cracks open the egg, and a bee kind of forms, and it looks like some blood is forming. It's pretty weird. And okay, maybe this is going to go somewhere with the grandmother. No, it doesn't go anywhere. That was it. And then a third pretty cool idea where there's this gang that we're following. It appears to be just some punk gang, but all of a sudden, or kind of a gothic kind of feel with this gang. But anyway, we find out, no, they're actually a cult. a Candyman cult. They believe in Candyman, and they call Candyman at the end. And I thought maybe somehow this cult, they're going to set up a sequel with this cult. It's going to go somewhere. No, Candyman just kills them all. So every good idea they had, they nipped it in the bud. The only other thing, there is a villain in Candyman 3, a cop. So other than Tony Todd, the obvious main, bad guy, villain, horror, killer, slasher, you have a cop who's just a punk. You just hate this guy, and I think you're supposed to hate him. So they certainly do a good job of that. This guy is one piece of crap. So if you're supposed to hate that guy, they succeeded in that. So that's good. But there's really no one to like. There's people that hate. There's just no one to like in this movie. There's no one to grab onto because, the girl, she's just not given much. Maybe she could have pulled it off if they gave her something to work with and made her, this particular actress, more than just a Baywatch chick, because that's what she looks like. So all in all, this movie was just a flat, kind of boring experience. Not a lot to offer. Anything you can get here, you can get much better in part 1 and part 2. And it was just a money grab. Not a pile of crap. I've seen much worse. But I have to say, unless you're a Candyman fanatic and you need some more Candyman in your life, and the first 2 and the new one is not enough, then I would say avoid this. I gotta give it a hard pass. I'm not gonna say it's trash, just barely better than that, but it's not very good. So hard pass on Candyman 3, Day of the Dead. So let me know what you guys thought. If you've checked it out, Day of the Dead, Candyman 3, is it worse than, most people? I actually think I like it more than most people. That's pretty sad because I gave it a hard pass. Candyman 2021, I'm checking it out tonight. I cannot wait. I hope it's good. Please be good. Look forward to that review. That'll be dropping sometime tomorrow. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Please hit that subscribe button and thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. We will talk to you next time.